Okay, so let me tell you where I used to be. So I used to be quite shy, not confident, quite nervous about social situations, that sort of thing. And it basically meant when I was faced with networking events, I used to be really nervous. Okay, so like a networking event where you're having to go to this event, there's gonna be loads of people you've never met before. It's literally like 4 hours of just like talking to people. Like that used to be my worst nightmare. I used to be really nervous, that kind of thing. If you're really nervous, you've got a networking event coming up. In this video, I'm going to explain why you don't actually need to be nervous. It's all going to be fine. I'm going to explain in this video. By the way, if you get any value from this video, feel free to leave a like down below. The first thing to understand is everyone else is going to be nervous too. Okay? That's what you have to realize. You're not like the only person in the whole world who's going to be nervous about this networking event for 100, 200, 300 people, right? For example, right now, go down and have a look at the view count on this video. Okay? Whatever that view count is, that's the same, that's like the number of people who also have like networking events coming up and they're nervous about it. So they wanted to watch this video. Or it's like people who, they don't have a networking event coming up, but they know that like when they do have one, eventually maybe in a year, 2 years, they can have a networking event. They know they're probably going to be nervous for it and they don't really know how to handle it or like what to do or like how to deal with nerves for that networking event. Or they're just like true fans of mine, they watch every video. Like, respect to you, I appreciate you if that's you watching. But what you have to understand is there's loads of other people who are in the same situation. They're super nervous. They don't like talking to people they don't know, social situations, whatever. I think that's the first thing you need to understand. I think that's one of the most important mindsets for anything in general, is whatever situation you're in, everyone else is in the same situation, okay? For example, in exams, if a hard question came up, like I'd done all the revision, I was all good, and then suddenly some random question, some ridiculously hard question came up, I wouldn't worry about it. I don't really care, because everyone else is in the same situation. We have the exact same question. It's not like you've done your like A-level paper, right? Everyone else is getting some easy like linear equations question, and then you get given some like integration by parts, like quadratic, like differentiation trigonometry thing, right? That's not how it works. You all get the same paper, okay? Which is why in like my A-level physics exam, for example, paper 1 was disgusting, right? Paper 1, they put some ridiculous things in there. Everyone else was like, I mean, when they came out of the exam, everyone was like, what the hell just happened? Probably during the exam, they were looking at that and they were sort of like panicking. They were like, okay, I don't even know what to do here. I've lost my grade or whatever, or this sort of thing. When I saw that, to be honest, I was just kind of amused, because I was like, well, this is going to be interesting, isn't it? Because I just saw some question that just didn't even make sense. Some stupid question. But I knew that every other person was in the same situation. I knew every other person saw that question and was like, what the hell is this? Which is why when I opened the paper and I saw that, I didn't worry about it, because it's like everyone's in the same situation. It's the exact same with this networking event. What you have to understand is you're not going to go there and then every other person is like some sort of confident like communication king, like Leonardo DiCaprio or something, right? Half of them are going to be, if not more, are going to be nervous as well as you, okay? So that's first thing to understand, that mindset that everyone's in the same boat. Number 2 is everyone is going to be really nice. Okay, there's a few like reasons why like people these days are quite shy or like low confidence, and like don't like social anxiety, don't like talking to people, that sort of thing. Obviously social media, that's a big reason. But I think another reason is just like upbringing. And it's sort of like you've been socially conditioned to be like this, okay? I'll explain why this is. And like, I would, again, I'm not like a psychologist or anything, I don't have any studies that I can cite, but it's my hypothesis that school is probably one of the big reasons why this happens, okay? So let me give you an analogy, and then I'll link it back, and then I'll explain why this is important to you at the networking event. Okay, so if I were to come up to you and say, look, I'm going to homeschool my children, what would you say to that? What's your response? Like, do you think that's a good thing? It's a bad thing? Is like some issue come to mind? You're like, oh, okay, fair enough. Or like, oh, but what about this? What's come to mind when if I were to say that? I want to homeschool my children instead of sending them off to school, right? I would guarantee probably like 75%, 80%, 90%. The thing that's come up in your head is, but they're not going to have any social skills. I bet, like, if you say this to anyone about homeschooling, straight away it's, oh, but they're social skills, right? Or they're not going to be very social, they're not going to know how to talk to people, they're not going to know how to communicate, right? Because, like, school, that's how you learn to socialize, learn to communicate, right? I actually think it's the other way around, okay? Because if you actually think about school for a second, did school actually help you become a social person? Okay, because if you're watching this video, you're shy, you're probably unconfident, and you've probably, like, you don't like social situations, yet you went to school, and apparently school is supposed to help you with that. Everyone says, oh, school helps with communication, and, like, you're going to learn how to talk to people. Then why are you watching this video? Right? Because school, this is how the dynamic works at school. Teacher asks a question, okay, you put your hand up and you say an answer, maybe you get it wrong, there's some guy at the back of the class who laughs about you, makes a joke about you. And you know what happens then? It means you don't put your hand up again. Like in like year 1 or year 2, a teacher asks a question, like 15 out of 30 people are probably putting their hands up. Like year 1s and year 2s. By the time you get to like year 11, no one puts their hands up. Year 12, year 13, no one puts their hands up. Like there's multiple reasons behind that. But one of it is just conditioning, because you've basically just been bullied for like 10 years by other people in your class. Because you'd say things in the classroom, people would just laugh at you. People would take the mick out of you when you're saying things, because that's just what the school dynamic is. So that's my hypothesis for this. That's why I think so many people like aren't good with social interaction, are shy, don't like speaking or whatever, because they've literally been conditioned to be like that by school. Like school is literally, because there were people in the class who like laughed at them when they spoke, they're now scared of speaking to people. Okay, you see what I'm saying? That's why it's like when people say, oh yeah, but if you're homeschooled then you won't get the social. It's like, what social life did school give you? What social skills did school give you? It didn't give you, it probably ruined your social skills. When you were probably like 4 years old, 5 years old, you would have had, think about it, like you think of like some just like small like toddler or whatever, or child or whatever, just goes up, talks to anyone, they talk to some random adult, talk to some random person, fine. But then you go to school and you get conditioned by like the culture in school of like, don't try hard, don't talk, like don't do this, you have to fit to these standards, whatever. And then it basically means by the time you get people out of school, like year 11, year 12, year 13, you've just got like 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds, whatever, who just don't like talking to people, who are like socially awkward and got social anxiety and are shy, unconfident. Exactly like I was. Right? This was exactly me. I didn't like talking to people and I was completely shy because I would have been conditioned for like 7 years, because whenever I put my hand up, there was some guy at the back of the class like taking the mick. Right? That is the reason why so many people these days, obviously there's social media, that's a massive one on top of it, that's obvious, but I'm saying this is another reason why there are so many people who like don't have social skills. It's because the upbringing, like this is like society's fault, I guess, that's just messed everyone up, whether that be school, whether that be like people interrupting you, people laughing at you for like just speaking or getting things wrong. That's how it is, okay? Now, we're going to link this all the way back to network, and I haven't just been having a rant, I promise this is going somewhere. Networking events are nothing like school. So as I said, school conditioned you to like hate speaking because everyone always took the mick and like bullied everyone, right? Networking events, everyone is super nice. That's the second thing you need to bear in mind when you go to these networking events. Everyone's super nice. You don't have to worry about some jock guy like just taking the mick, right? Because everyone's super nice at these networking events. No one's going to be horrible to you at this networking event. I think that's another thing that people are afraid of. There are people afraid of like, what are people going to think of me if I like say something wrong or I mess up, or like, are people going to judge me? No one cares. No one's judging you. No one's like doing anything. In these networking events, everyone's super nice. Everyone's super supportive. It's like, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to worry about anything. Because it's like, you just say the thing. You just network, you just talk to people. Like say you even do say something stupid, no one cares. It's not like the bully guy is going to suddenly like speak up in class and like you're going to have 30 people laughing at you like how you've been conditioned at school. It's not like that. I think that's one of like the number one things I have found when going from like school to like professional, so like company, job, like other employees, like networking events. There's a huge difference between school and this. School is like, yeah, it's kind of a jarring environment. This, everyone is super nice. You don't have to worry about anything. Okay, just make that distinction. Okay, this isn't school anymore. If you're going to a networking event for like a job, like maybe you're applying to an apprenticeship, or it's a networking event after it started, you just got to remember everyone's super nice, don't have to worry about it, and everyone's nervous too. I mentioned that earlier. Hope this video has helped you. If it has given you any value, just drop a like on this video. And have a great rest of your day. Wish you luck with your networking event that you got in the future. Yeah, have a great rest of your day. Cheers.